Welcome to Taking It to the Nub, Season 2, Episode 3. And tonight, I have a very special guest. I have reviewed his cigars last year, the year before. We're talking about Ari Wimberly Bay, but he is the owner of Black Star Line Cigars. You might know, if you've been smoking his cigars, you might know the War Witch, which is an amazing cigar. We're going to bring Aric in right now, and we're going to have a fun hour of conversation around cigars, firefighting, and all the goodness that goes with this industry. So let me just bring in Aric right now. Aric, how are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing, man. It's we're getting through January. We're halfway through. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
2021 seems to be like 2020. We're just slowly plotting our way through, but you know what? I'm really happy that we're moving forward and everything. And I guess what? We've been smoking more cigars in 2020 than we've ever smoked.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good thing for me, you know.
It's a big for you and for everybody.
Indeed.
So before I get into this deep, when I contacted you, I got really confused with your name, and I apologize.
It's all right.
I know I was like Ari Wimberly, and there's Ari Wimberly Bay, and then if you go on Facebook, it's Aric Dub. So why don't you? Well, let's break some ice here and just talk to me about how your name evolves, because I have a fun thing with me too. My name, nobody knows who I am, so it's good.
Yeah, I'm sort of like Rumpelstiltskin, man. So I got a bunch of names. My birth name is the name that you put on the flyer, which is Ari Wimberly. So that's my birth name. So I'm very in tune with a lot of African history and African spirituality. So my legal name, now I changed it years ago, over 10 years ago. My legal name is Adetola Bay. So Adetola means the crown that begets wealth. It's a Nigerian name. Bay, my surname, is a Moorish name. So it means ruler. So that's why I chose that, to be more in touch with my ancestors. But commonly I go by Aric Bay. So people, they won't have a hard time pronouncing my actual first name. But people call me Ade for short, or they call me Aric. So it's Adetola Aric Wimberly Bay. So that's where my name came from. So it's always different mixtures of the name. Aric Dub is just short for W. So that's what I originally had on Facebook. So the funny thing about that is when I was featured in Cigar Press, Thor never asked me what name to put in the magazine. So on the cover of the Cigar Press, it says Aric Dub. So he actually thought Dub was my last name. So that's a funny mistake that's on the Cigar Press magazine. I think that was September of 2020. I was in there. So I got a bunch of different names and nicknames. It just depends on what point in my life that you met me and what name you're gonna call me.
So that's a lot like me. I've had numerous nicknames in my growing up, and of course my most famous one now was Boston Jimmie. The guy who's from New York and lives in Florida goes by the name Boston Jimmie. So we'll just leave it at that, because people that know. Those that don't know, well, someday you'll learn. Yeah. So before you got into having your own cigar brand, you were a Chicago firefighter?
Yeah, I'm currently retired. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was injured on the job, hurt my back. I had a herniated disc, and then it turned out that I also tore my labrum in my hip. I ended up having to have surgery on my hip. And once I had surgery on the hip, I only have a year. Once you get injured on the job in Chicago, you have a year to come back. And if you don't come back within that year, they put you in a disability category. So when I went past that year point, and they put me on duty disability, and I'm retired. I've been on the job 6.5, 7 years.
Oh, wow. So that was like, what was that injury from?
extricating a kid from the car. Yeah, so we were breaking in the car. A young lady locked her kid in the car, so we're getting out of there, and we were getting the door open, and I slipped and fell, and one leg went one way, and yeah, it was just a freak accident. I've extricated numerous people out of cars, and that's never happened. And it happened that day, so I immediately got in the ambulance and went right to the hospital from there, and I'm here now. So
There you go. God bless. Very much so. The kid survived.
oh yeah, it was the kid was under a year old, so yeah, the kid was fine. It was hot out, so we were really trying to hurry up and get the kid out of there.
Right on. Right on. That's good. And then so did you start the brand while you were a firefighter or once you were disabled?
No, I was still a firefighter when I started the brand. So
Okay.
yeah, I started off smoking actually in the firehouse, and one of my buddies got me to smoke one with him, and I just enjoyed it so much. And I went to a local lounge around here, and I started off smoking like black cherry flavored cigars, and I initially liked them. And I quickly graduated from there. I started smoking a lot of Drew Estate stuff, Dirty Rats and Ligas and stuff. Then I tried to go back and smoke that black cherry again, and it just tasted terrible. And I never went back to an infused or flavored cigar again.
And you kind of got this whole thing started like Apple Computer in a garage, I understand. You just
Yeah, that's where I am now. I'm sitting in my garage. That's where all my ideas come from. I was sitting in the garage, and I was smoking, and I was like, man, I knew it was time for me to start a business, but I just didn't know what it was going to be. And then I was looking at my hand, and I was like, man, you enjoy these cigars so much. Why don't you try to have a run at that? Because a lot of times when you're doing stuff that you enjoy, it's not really work. So, and that's when I contacted my childhood friend Derek Bell, and I was like, hey man, you wanna start a cigar line with me? And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So Derek was very instrumental in starting Black Star Line Cigars.
Now the name Black Star Line, what does that is there a reference for that? Is anything special that you want to talk about the name itself?
Yeah. Black Star Line is the shipping company of Marcus Garvey. So that was been the name of his ships. That was the name of his company. So I chose him because I thought the name was cool, and it was a good way to honor the ancestors. I like to honor ancestors a lot, and there's a lot of historical figures that get talked about a lot. And Marcus Garvey doesn't get talked about a lot. So I chose to go with that name. He was trying to ship products and people from America back to Africa, but he was buying dilapidated ships, so he never really made it to Africa. So he made it to the islands, the Caribbean, Bahamas and things like that. But the Black Star Line Cigars name is derived from the White Star Line Cigars. I'm not White Line Stars, the White Line Star,
Titanic.
which is the Titanic. There you go. Yeah, so that's where he got the Black Star Line from.
Now, somewhere along the way in this journey of yours, you got connected with Jonathan Drew, and he helped you quite a bit. Talk about that journey with Jonathan, that experience, and how that happened.
Yeah. JD is a good friend of mine. Well, when me and Derek decided we wanted to take this venture, we started going to every Drew Estate event that we could that JD was going to be there. So we went up to the table, introduced ourselves, told him what we were going to do, and he was like, "Man, that's great." And not only is Black Star for Marcus Garvey, but there's a hip hop group named Black Star too, with Most Def and Talib Kweli. So as soon as we said Black Star, he immediately, because JD's a big time hip hop head, so he started reciting Black Star lyrics. So he took a liking to us immediately. Gave us his email address, said, hey, contact me, I'll help you out. We email him, he never responds. So we go to more events. So he remembered us, and he said, hey, all right, I didn't respond to the email, I'll give you my phone number. But he was like, in the meantime, I want you to try to check out El Titan de Bronze in Miami. So we started reaching out to Sandy down to El Titan de Bronze. Told him, we kept getting the gatekeeper. Her name was Kitty.
Yeah.
And we told her that JD told us to call. We wanted to talk to Sandy, but Sandy wasn't in the factory a lot then because her mother was sick. So we kept calling and calling and calling, never get her. So like 6 to 8 months go by, and I was thinking, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna send Sandy some flowers to, tell her I hope her mother's getting better, and wishing the family well, sending my blessings from Chicago. Sent the flowers down there. Still didn't hear anything. So we're sitting around one day, and just out of the spur of the moment, I was like, hey, let's call Sandy right now. So we called down to El Tiden de Bronze, and Kitty left the factory. So Giselle, Sandy's daughter, answered the phone, and we asked for Sandy, and she was like, yeah, she's right here, handing the phone right over to her. So Sandy gets on the phone, and she says, we tell her who we are, and she says, you those nice guys from Chicago that sent me those flowers, right? And we say, yeah. She said, yeah, I'm gonna do those blends for y'all. And then Sandy and JD, they're the ones that gave birth to Black Star Line Cigars. So my first two blends came out of El Tiden de Bronze and on Calle Ocho in Miami.
Good choice. And they're still being made there, the original blends?
Yeah, I'm smoking the Robusto version of it now. I had to make a spur of the moment change with the factory because lately they've been so backed up with Willie Herrera stuff and Warped and the Goldies that come out of there. And then the whole factory caught COVID. Sandy, her mother, the rollers, everybody in the factory caught COVID. So when that happened, the factory was closed for 2 months. So that backed them completely up, because the Herrera Steli Miami is coming out of there. So I had to make a choice on what I was going to do, and I decided I was going to recreate the blends at Aganorsa. Yeah. So they'll be coming back out in April.
Okay, so you're all connected up in Aganorsa now. You and the rest of the world seems to be moving in an Aganorsa or a. There's a few directions people are moving in. Aganorsa is one of them. So
yeah.
That's they're producing a great craft. So great. Now, do you have anything new that you're coming out with through Aganorsa that is not a previous blend?
Yeah. So as you know, Warwich came from Aganorsa as well.
Excellent.
That was the last stick that came out of TAFSA. I do have a new stick called Lalibela that's coming out in April. So it's being rolled right now. Lalibela is a town in Ethiopia, and they had a bunch of it was 11 churches that were built into the ground, like excavated, and they were built down into the ground. So they're like landmarks there, and each one of the churches have tunnels that connect each one of them. So Lalibela means bees that protect the sovereignty. Because when the emperor was born, the story goes that when he was born, a swarm of bees were around him, protecting him until his mother could take him, and take over. So that's why the town is called Lalibela. So I chose that name because everything that has to do with Black Star has some kind of like African history to it. Like Warwich is an African movie, and that's where I got the name of Warwich from.
Well, I can tell you that Don Wiggins, my good friend from the Underground Cigar Lounge in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, if you guys are not tuned into it, the 23rd of this month, I believe it is, tickets go on sale for the Underground Cigar Lounge for their virtual No Fucks Given event this year. You got to be part of that. It's a great time, no matter what. He's got a great boutique line of cigars that he sells. And Don actually says, you are one of the most passionate cigar makers in the industry. Honored to be your friend. Yeah,
I love Don. Don and Underground, they were my very first customers. They supported me from Jump Street. He let me know that El Tiden was his favorite factory, and when I got the cigars, he bought numerous boxes from me and hadn't even smoked the cigars. So that's why I show a lot of love to Underground. Any like limited edition release, like the limited edition, the Lancero for Warwich, I released it at Underground for them. And even when Warwich came, the Robusto size, it was unreleased. I released it at Underground too. because they just support us like crazy, and you know, I love everybody down there. So they took care of us, man.
Have you been to the new lounge?
Yeah, I did an event there December 4th.
Oh,
We
awesome.
killed it too. Yeah, we sold like 400 cigars in 4 hours.
Did you see my brick in there? Did you look at the brick
You
wall?
said, yeah, I saw it.
The brick is there. I got a brick there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Dawn actually says, you know, I guess this must be a fun question. Why don't you talk about Chef's Hooch from the Underground?
So my first time going to NFG last March, a friend of mine came with me to help out with the event, but I was getting kind of sick. It was right when COVID was starting. So we get there, this is at the old lounge, and you know, we're sitting there talking, and I was like, man, my throat is hurting. So chef was like, hey, why don't you go try some of that hooch back there? So I was like, all right, cool. So I go get a little plastic cup of it, I pour it, and I always nose everything. I'm a Scotch guy, so I nose it. So I start to nose it, and they're like, no, don't nose it, just drink it. Okay. So I just down it. And then when the fire hit my insides, it felt like I was like tongue kissing a dragon as it was blowing fire down all the way down in my body. So that hooch didn't last. I don't think it lasted 2 minutes in my body. I had to run outside and throw it all up. But it wasn't just me. It was me and 3 other guys. One guy went in the bathroom, and it's a 1-person bathroom. So I'm outside throwing up. There's a guy in the bathroom throwing up. The third guy couldn't find where to go, so he just grabbed a random bucket and started throwing up in that. My buddy took it like a champ. I was like, you must have a cast iron stomach or something, because he just took it. And another guy just took it, and it didn't bother him too much. But me, my body wasn't taking it, and I had to spit it all back up. So.
Was this during one of the events, the big events?
Yeah, it was NFG. Yeah, 2020.
So did Mike Melody drink some of this?
No, this was like a day or so before the event. So we were just there hanging out.
Okay. Well, you got to get some of that to Mike Belly to see how he handles it. All right. We'll see. You know, because he likes all his whiskeys and everything. And he might have already had it because he knows chef and all of that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Eddie Tarazona says, so his wife says, thank you for making your way down the chimney this Christmas. She enjoyed the presents. Beard game is strong. It'll keep going, folks. We got a few more months before I get spiked in the arm, and then my wife actually started to turn a liking to it. She didn't like it at first, but she says it just needs to get trimmed out nice and all of that, and the hair needs to be taken care of because it's a mess. But we'll see what happens. At this point, let me give a quick shout out to my sponsors, and then when we come back, I want to talk about your history of cigars and what you've learned in the industry since you got started after smoking some cherry cigar.
All right, cool.
So today's show is brought to you by Frontline Cigars. Frontline Cigars is always on the front line of flavor, innovation, and giving back to those who serve. As a Frontline responder-owned company based in the Chicagoland area, Frontline Cigars strives to give back to those that serve, whether it be first responders or military, through numerous charitable foundations. At frontlinecigars.com, you'll find a wide range of cigars from boutique to everyday brands, in addition to a fine selection of cigar accessories and swag. Of course, you can go there, and you can also find the Stogie Pres 90+ rated 5-pack of cigars. Those are 5 cigars we've rated over 90 that Frontline carries. You can check that out. And also check out their new Defender line, which is giving credence to our military servicemen and women. Thank you for your service. You can follow Frontline Cigars on Instagram and Facebook, and check them out at www.frontlinecigars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Tarazona Cigars. Tarazona Cigars, they do it with passion. That's just not a statement. That's real. Everything they do, and I've known Eddie for a long time. He does it with passion. Each hand that touches the process takes pride in the quality and the craftsmanship of every cigar that goes into every box of Arizona cigars. So the next time you're looking for a fine smoke, do it with passion and reach for Arizona. You can follow Arizona Cigars on Facebook and Instagram, and you can visit them on www.arizonacigars.com and check out, if you get an opportunity, their new Mazza line. 3 blends. I've been working through them right now. I'll be having reviews on those shortly. This is a fine package, bundled package blend that I think the average cigar smoker is going to love. So check that out. They should be hitting the stores. They should be there now. So with that, we'll come back to Aric. Thank you to my sponsors. Without you, this show's a little bit harder to do. So you started with this cherry thing, blend cigar, and so that was like your first experience. How old were you when you did that? How many years ago?
It was about 7 years ago. So I'm 44 now, so 37.
All right, so you've been smoking cigars since 37 years old, and you got into having your own company. What did you learn working with Untitled Chapter, getting to know Jonathan, getting to know other factories? What have you learned in that journey that maybe you didn't know nothing about back in the day?
I mean, the main thing I could take out of my experience with LT and Bronze and JD and everybody else is persistence, because I had to be very persistent with JD just to keep his attention and keep him helping us. And then persistence with chasing down Sandy to actually get her to do the blends, because that you know, like I said, without Sandy, none of these cigars would be here. And also networking, you know, and talking to a lot of different people and getting to know people and letting them know who I am and what type of person I am. And that really helped me out a lot, because, you know, like everybody likes me as a person. And then when they taste the blends, that really puts it over, you know. But I mean, like with networking, the way that paid off was I met Sean Williams from Cohiba. And I met him out a couple of times at different events. And then he ended up coming here to Chicago, and I already had the blends from LT and Bronze. So I went and met up with him at the lounge. He was doing an event at here. And, you know, I'm talking to him, and he's like, man, you know, what do you want to do? And I was like, you know, I love LT, but I need a factory that's a little more cost effective, because I'm buying tobacco from America. And, you know, anything you buy from America is going to be, you know, pricier. So he's like, man, what do you want to do? He named a bunch of factories, and he named Aganorsa. And I was like, hey, you know, I'm a big fan of Kyle and Ward. And I know that's a path that he took. So I told him, I was like, hey, you know, I love to work with Aganorsa. So he was like, hey, give me a day and I'll get back with you. And the next day he texted me. He was like, hey, Terrence Riley. He's like, I talked to him personally for you, and he's waiting for your call. And Sean Williams is exclusively the reason why Warwick is in existence now, because he's the one that connected me with Tapsa and Terrence Riley. And then Warwick got me into Cigar Press, and it also got me into Tobacco Business Magazine as well.
Now, what was the process you went through when you started working with Untitled Chapter? So you get a hold of Sandy, and you're gonna go create this line. Were you hands-on with the blend? Did you have an idea? Do you have any idea what you wanted as far as leaf or flavor profiles? How did that work?
Yeah, you see, I'm a full body guy. I like full body cigars, and I'm a huge fan of Mexican San Andreas wrappers. So that was the starting point of it. So yeah, Derek and I developed the first 2 blends, and then I wanted 2 blends that would meet 2 different smokers. So the Mexican San Andreas, it's called El Malagro. El Malagro means the miracle. So it's a red band and a blue band. I did that for police officers and firefighters. So you know, we wanted 2 different types of smokes or 2 different types of smokers, and like the Mexican San Andreas is a full body smoke. It's for those that like something a little bit stronger, a full smoke. And then the blue one is medium full. So it scales back a little bit. It's more so flavored than it is the strength to it. So that strategy that we took seemed to pay off a lot, because people can go back and forth between the blends, even if they don't like a Habano wrapper, or if they don't like something that's scaled back a little bit in strength, they can still enjoy the blue line, because it's very flavorful. And the nicknames for the two sticks are Red Line and Blue Line, because there's train lines here in Chicago, and every line has a color name to it. So there is a red line, there is a blue line. So we try to root everything in Chicago. Even on the band of the sticks, there's the Chicago Star. The stars from the Chicago flag are on the band with my black Star Line logo. It's actually my secondary logo that I have. My main logo is circular, and then the one that's on the band is my secondary logo. So yeah, so we try to root everything in with in relation to Chicago, and paying homage to police officers and also firefighters too.
What does your footprint now look like as far as numbers of shops, states that you've in the U.S.?
Off the top of my head, I think we're in 35 different lounges right now, and we've been in business like a year and a half, maybe. Mm-hmm. We're also carried by a Provider Club. Cigar Federation sold out of all three blends that we have, so I got to get some more to them. CigarClub.com has us as well. So states, I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe like 6 states.
Okay.
But it's tough because it's just 3 of us that are working, and and I can't get around everywhere, and I don't have sales reps or anything. I do a lot of the sales and calls and stuff myself. I ship everything out myself because I sell directly to consumer as well, because we have a website. So I package everything up and I ship everything out myself. I'm talking to lounges all the time, seeing where we can get in, and just working nonstop.
Let's do a little lightning round.
Mm.
Couple of some quick questions.
Okay.
Your favorite action movie?
Favorite one, maybe Bad Boys 2.
All right, it's cool, like that. Favorite musician?
Ooh, KRS-One.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm an old school hip hop guy, so yeah, KRS-One is my number one out of anybody.
Oh, must be good friends with Skip Martin.
Yeah, Skip is my guy. Yeah, Skip is my guy. Yeah, he smoked all 3 of my blends, and it gave me his feedback, said he liked all 3 of them. Yeah, Skip and Mike, they're good guys. Skip gave me advice. Him and Mike gave me advice early on too. I got the chance to sit and smoke with them, and they talked to me, till my ears fell off, to make sure that everything is good. And that's the thing that's cool about being in the industry is, you run into owners, and the ones I've run into aren't stuck up. Pete Johnson, I've talked, he gave me advice too. I did a lot of homework, man, and I ran into people that I idolize in the industry, and people that I love their cigars, and I went and I sat and talked with them. So they gave me valuable knowledge, and that's part of the reason why we do so well right now.
It doesn't hurt to have people that be mentoring you, that have been around and know how this all works. Even what I do, I could say that one of my he's not a mentor, he's a good friend, and I respect how he did all the media, is Cigar Coop. Okay. I love, if anybody that follows me should follow Cigar Coop. We have very similar palates, but his process, we're basically in the same, outside of cigars, we're actually in the same business line together. I mean, he's like my competition. It's really weird. We're all about the same age. It's really funny, but it's always good to have that, and to reach out for that. I mean, in this industry, people help each other in this industry more than they slam. I don't like the slamming. I love the fact that people reach out, help each other, because the more there is, the better it is for this industry. All right?
Yeah.
It's all about cigars. It's all about getting the tobacco out there, getting it out to the consumers. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Jonas from Blackbird he's been very helpful. I went to one of his events. He came here to Chicago, and he came and just sat and talked to me, and told me all his downfalls and successes and what to look out for. I really appreciated that. And, James Brown from Black Label Trading Company. He follows us on Instagram. We talk from time to time, and he let me know that he really liked the format of my page and how it looks. And he said he was really impressed, for us to be so young in the game. He said he loves the page. So even Matt Booth, he follows us, and he told me the same thing, man. And even Eric Espinosa, I talked to him, and he was like, "Dude, you came out of two great factories out the gate." He was like, you're starting off on the right track. Keep it up. So, yeah, everybody that I've run into that have really been, doing this very well has given me a lot of good feedback and accolades, and and gives me the courage to keep pushing.
So another question I'll ask you, lightning round question: skirts or pantsuits?
Well, I don't wear either one, but yeah. For my wife, I think I would prefer a skirt.
Okay, there you go.
Mhm.
Um, what are you smoking tonight?
San Andres. This is my. Let me find the camera here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my Mexican San Andres. So from El Tigre Bronze.
I like that cigar. That was a good cigar. Drinking anything to go with that?
Yeah, Ascade from the Isla.
Oh, good Islay Scotch. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
I'm a smoky guy, so Lefroy, Ardbeg, Kalila. Yeah, if it's smoky, I love it. I really love it because a lot of times if I'm not smoking, I still want some kind of smoke. So if I can't get it in the cigar, I'll get it in my drink.
I'm actually smoking a Gran Habano,
Hmm.
Black Dahlia. All right. So
Yeah.
people that
Hmm.
know Gran Habano, been around a long time. Been around a
Yeah.
long time. That company continues to press out some phenomenal cigars all the time. And I'm actually pairing it. Well, right now I'm pairing it with the remainder of my Angel's Envy.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a good
I,
drink.
I'm not a big bourbon guy, but I got a lot of friends that have been drinking bourbon and they've been talking about it. So I've been picking up a bottle here and there. But I'm on
Yeah.
your page. Give me
Yeah.
a good peaty Scotch, or lately a bit. I've really gotten into some really good Irish whiskeys, the craft
Yeah.
whiskeys.
Hmm.
Um, that really are good. And I also like wine. So I started the night off with a bottle, and I got all these wine clubs I belong to. So this stuff shows up all the time. So this one's called Carideas, or okay,
Hmm.
can't even pronounce it probably. It's a Spanish Ganache, which I never heard
Okay.
of such a wine. But it's a nice red wine. It's very pleasant actually. It's got a lot. It's got berry flavors and things like that in it.
Yeah.
It's not it, I won't say it's like a Cabernet. It's somewhere between a Cabernet and a Pinot. You know,
Okay.
nice mellow wine to drink.
Yeah.
When you pair something though, when you think about the depth of a good Islay like a Lagavulin and an Old Band,
Hmm.
you're drinking.
Hmm.
What cigars would you not pair that with?
For Isla, I probably wouldn't do a Connecticut because the all you're gonna taste is the smoke. It's gonna eat the Connecticut up. Even my Warwick, my Warwick is not an ordinary Connecticut. It's got some strength to it. It's got a lot of spice, but the smoke in the Islas, it'll just eat those cigars up. So I'm more so pair Islas with like the official pairing for the Mexican San Andres is the Port Charlotte 10 from Brook for my sun-grown Habano is the Brook Lottie Classic Lottie, the one that looks like it's a Tiffany color bottle. And then for Warwick, I went totally different, and I did 4 rows of single barrel is the official pairing for Warwick, because it goes really well with that cigar. But a lot of times when I'm pairing, when I smoke a cigar that I haven't had before, I usually don't drink anything but water with it, because I want to get the tobacco. Then I can kind of tell what to pair with it, and what's going to overpower what, whether the cigar is going to overpower the drink or the drink's going to overpower the cigar. So I'll smoke the cigar even with samples. I only drink water with it, because I got to get a feel for the tobacco and see what's going on with it and what notes I'm getting out of tobacco. And then I could turn around and say, okay, I'm going to try it with XYZ and see how that goes. And then that's how I develop my pairings. I got really good with pairing different scotches and rums and bourbons with cigars, just based off of what I'm tasting out of the cigar.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. When I review a cigar, I always have water. And believe it or not, I actually review the cigars at 11 o'clock in the morning. So if I'm reviewing a cigar, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's the first cigar of the day. I've already had breakfast. That's beyond me. So I had a little something on my stomach. I've had my 2 cups of coffee. That's gone. And then it's just water. And I'm going to drink, and I'm going to review that cigar on a relatively nice, clean palate with something in my stomach. So when I say something is medium strength, for me, that's medium. That is for sure, because there's something in my stomach. If I say full strength, people would be like, be aware, because of course, if I'm saying full strength and you're not, ready for the heavy nicotine, be careful with that cigar. So I tell people, because it hits me, and I smoke 3-4 a day, so it hits me. Even with something in my stomach, it's going to hit other people pretty hard. So.
Yeah. Coffee is one I don't really drink. Every once in a while I'll drink it, but I know it's a great pairing with cigars. But it's just something I just never got into. And when I do drink coffee, is black. I don't put anything in it, because I want to try to get the notes out of the coffee as well.
You ever drink tea? You drink tea at all?
I drink tea, but not with cigars, though. I've never tried it. I heard that's a good pairing as well.
Try that, because the tannins in the tea bring out the flavors of the cigar. It's a unique experience, really is. A good black Earl tea or something like that. Just okay. It's a special experience if you've never done it before.
Yeah, I have to check it out. Yeah, I've heard that before. I just never tried. For some reason, I keep forgetting about pairing tea with cigars. It's just when I come out here to the garage and I see the bottles over here, and it's I go for what I know.
Now, when you're looking at when you're blending a cigar and you're thinking about a blend, what are some of your favorite notes that you would like in your cigars? I mean, do you want every cigar to be different? Do you have some notes you just like, some special core notes that run through your blend?
I do like every cigar to be different, and that's why Warwick came out different from the other 2. But I am, like I said, I'm a huge fan of Mexican San Andreas. So you get the cocoa, the chocolate notes in there, some earth. Those really resonate with me. So those are some of the notes I do gravitate towards. But I do realize that every cigar can't be the same. So I try to come up with good cigars that have different notes in them as well. So everybody's not saying that everything that I make is the same thing.
What is other than your own cigars, what is one of your favorite blends on the market?
Oh man, that's tough. I smoke a lot, man. I got in my personal collection, I may have 1,000 cigars here. So I could literally smoke 3 cigars a day for 2 weeks and not smoke the same brand. I smoke a lot of Roma Craft. Shout to Wahe. I like the Monsters a lot, especially Freddy Krueger. It was really good to me. I'm not a huge fan of like Dominican Puros. for some reason, I think my palate changed over the years, man, and like Dominican Puros just don't sit well with me. They're kind of boring to me. But I did have PG Paul
Gamarin.
Paul Gamarin.
Yeah.
Paul Gamarin, yeah. I had his Symphony 20 like a month ago, and I thought that was a good blend, man. But I mean, I'm smoking all the way from. I'll do some LFDs. I'll go all the way up to Atabays, you know, and so I'm all across the board as far as price. But usually my wheelhouse for cigars I like to buy, they're right around $12 to $15 or so, you know, and but yeah, man, I smoke a lot of stuff. I like a lot of Noel Rojas stuff and Edgar Hall. I mean, the list goes on. Black Label Trading Company. I smoke a lot of different stuff. And I think that's why my palate developed so fast, is I'm never really smoking the same thing. Because I've only been smoking roughly about 7 years. And, you know, I know people that smoke 20, 30, 40 years, man. And, you know, and I'm right, as far as my palate, I'm right there with them, because I'm not trapping my palate into one particular cigar. I try a bunch of different manufacturers, and I support everybody.
Yeah, I've been smoking cigars for 42 years.
Yeah.
And
yeah, see, I'm a baby compared to you.
But like your palate is always developing. I can tell you that I have, when I do my reviews, I have on the flavor notes that I put in, I have a list. So whenever I have flavor notes and I add them at the bottom of the review, I just check the boxes, right? These are the notes that I was getting based on my review. And every now and then, I'm like, this note's not on the list. I picked something up that, like, you know, I didn't detect before. And I always tell people, like, when you're enjoying the cigar craft, unleash your palate. And sometimes what you need to do, go in your spice cabinet someday and take out all those spices that are in a spice cabinet, put them in little dishes, right? And then sit there and take a little cayenne and mix it with a little nutmeg on your finger, and just taste it, and just let that, and you'll begin to understand what the flavors that we talk about. There are some folks I know that they don't get any of these flavors. They get nothing. They get smoked, right?
Right.
And I guess I don't understand that, because the palate should give you something. If nothing else, it should give you some sweetness just for the tobacco, right? But try different things and expand that palate, because this is the hobby we're in, right? If you smoke the same thing every day, if you smoke the same brand or the same basic stuff, you're not really having the fun that we look at the industry as. There's so much to have. It's like drinking scotch. Different scotches. Every scotch is different. Every whiskey is different. Every cigar is going to be different.
It's like eating the same meal every day. It's going to get boring, and then your palate's going to get trapped. And then I also tell people that, you know, it's really important. Some people don't, but it's really important to retrohale, because you're engaging all the senses, and then you really get to taste that cigar. You know, when you blow it through your nose, and that's when you engage everything, and you tasting everything in that cigar, and it's just a beautiful experience. You know, I've exposed some people, they've been smoking for a few years, and they're like, I asked them, do you retrohale? And they said no, and I was like, well, you know, learn how to do it. And when they learn how to do it, it just increased their experience with the cigar. So that's what I like to do, man. Is just increase experiences, and then once you get past that, then I can, you know, show you some or tell you some alcohols to pair with the some spirits to pair with the cigars, and that just increases the experience even more.
Now, I've been retrohaling for a very long time, and I have tried to teach people, and some people learn, some people don't. It's a little harder for others. When did you start retrohaling, and how did you get that started? Because and explain to people your method. If you were to teach somebody how to retrohale, what would you tell them to
do? Just being simple about it is, when after you take a pull on the cigar, put your tongue on the top of the roof of your mouth and blow it through your nose, kind of like blocking off your esophagus. Now, when I started off doing it, there were a few accidents where the smoke went down the wrong way, you know, and that's trial and error, you know. And once you get the experience of the smoke going down the wrong way, you'll make sure that it goes the right way, you know, because it's an unforgettable experience when you get that cigar smoke down your throat. So,
although there are some cigars that was so smooth and flavorful, sweetness, that not artificial sweetness, just the natural tobacco sweetness, smooth, not a lot of pepperiness to it, maybe a little bit of fruit, and every now and then I just feel it like I just swallow it. It's weird. I just swallow it, and it's like and I was like, I shouldn't do this, and it's a very
rare. I'm gonna have to say pause on that one, bro. I'm gonna have to say pause on that one, bro.
But the retrohaling, absolutely, you're not experiencing it 100% unless you retrohale. And now I can't smoke a cigar. I mean, every puff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Goes out the nose. Every puff goes out the nose with me. And it's hard for me not to do that. It's become such a habit that it just goes in and goes out. And then chew it.
Yeah.
You chew your smoke too?
I don't. I know people that, you know, they're smoking a cigar and it look like they're eating a meal because the cap, this is all chewed up. And now my when I'm smoking a cigar, it's pretty much intact, other than it being cut. You know, I don't really chew it.
So I chew the smoke, right? Chewing the smoke. I'll sit there like this.
Okay.
Which rolls it all around the palate. Just basically chewing the smoke and slowly retrohaling it out of the nose as it exhausts out, you know, and that just adds even more flavor notes to it.
I saw it looked like you were retrohaling through one nostril, man. That's impressive. I've never done that.
I have a deviated septum, so this right here, that's not good. That I can breathe. That one, this side is clogged. So it depends. Sometimes it opens, sometimes it doesn't. So,
you
know, just life goes on. What can I tell you? We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's different, man. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, all right, see if we can do it again.
Yeah. But yeah, retrohaling is great though, man. You know, when I found out how to do it, I was like, man, it just increased the cigar experience. You know, and that's all I'm trying to do is increase my enjoyment, because this is my meditation. This is my time. If I come out to the garage and this is my area. Like my wife doesn't smoke, so you know, I come out here and it's me or people come by and see me. They call us the Black Star Line Cigar Lounge. So we come out here and I got a permanent heater out here and music and a refrigerator full of liquor and, you know, bottles, and we just come out here and enjoy ourselves.
Well, when everything passes by us eventually and we get off back to normal, you know, my Stogie Pres lounge, this is it. This is my place. I have a few other places in the patio and have a pergola in the backyard, and I got numerous sitting areas, but this is the main area. And people come over. I used to always have people over, and I miss that. I really do. You know, I got a bar set up, and like you said, and we come over and we enjoy. And it's not happening right now, and you know, Zoom is helping us because we can at least experience the camaraderie that we need. So
yeah, Zoom has actually been excellent for COVID because, excuse me, you get a chance to interact with a bunch of different people that you never would have if this never happened. So, you know, I'll get on the Zoom and I'll be talking to people from West Coast all the way to the East Coast, and getting a chance for them to learn about the brand and that type of thing, you know, just like now, you know.
We have, as an industry, embraced this in a way that many industries haven't. You got people from all over the country that are all connecting. And I don't think this goes away. I think this is a new norm for cigar smokers. I think it's great. You know, it just, we're smoking more cigars, that's for sure.
Yeah, I had to get used to it at first, but the cigar industry is all about adapt and overcome. So it's been like that for hundreds of years. As long as tobacco's been around, there's always something that you have to adapt and overcome over, and this is just another example of it. And we're doing a great job of it because everybody uses the Zooms and everybody interacts and has a good time, and we smoke cigars, and get it in.
So Lady Wolves Softball asks, where do I get these sticks? And I believe Derek answered that, but
okay,
where do they get?
Yeah, that's Derek Barrow. If you want to buy it directly from me, it's www.bslcigars.net. The only thing is I'm sold out of everything. Like El Malagro is gone, Warwick is almost gone. I have an infused line as well. Those I think I'm down to just apple whiskey with those. Like people have just been hitting us, lounges, everything. So I won't be back up and running as far as inventory until April sometime. That's when Aganorsa is supposed to get the sticks to me. So,
what's that apple whiskey like?
I don't like it. I don't like any of my infused cigars, and I smoked all of them, because I'm not an infused guy. But they're very popular. I have a vanilla bourbon, I have an apple whiskey, I have a rum, I have a coffee, and a peach cognac. They were selling the hell out of them down at Underground. Yeah, it is. They're very popular for those that like that type of cigar, And the thing is, I infuse everything myself. I do everything myself.
Oh, you do the infusions yourself?
Yeah. Yes, I do them right here in the house. I'm in here like a mad scientist, like making different flavors and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna love this when I'm done with it. And once they're infused, I never stop infusing them. So they're infused until I sell out of that run, and then I make some more. Yeah. So there's some of the sticks you'll get, they've been infused for like 6, 7, 8 months. So they're real flavorful. It drives me nuts because I have to smoke everything that I have. It drives me nuts to smoke them, but I smoke them just to see how they are and see what the flavor is. The flavor is going all the way through. If they're sweet or not, I need to know, so I know what to do, when I'm infusing the cigars. But yeah, they're very, very popular.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't realize you had that line. It's interesting.
Yeah. So I started doing that because I do events here in Chicago, and people will come by and they want to support, but they felt my non-infused cigars are too strong for them, or they were first-time smokers. So I kept getting requests like, hey, you do any kind of just mild stuff? And I'm like, I don't, but I can. So then that's when I came with the infused line, and it's worked out very well for us, man. It was a very good addition where I could please every type of smoker,
So who makes the blends for the infusion?
Aganorsa.
Oh,
yeah.
So
yeah, those are Aganorsa sticks too. Yeah.
good premium tobacco. At this point, let me take a break off here. We're going to quickly talk about the news and reviews on Stogie Pres for this past week. We're going to start off with the news. Top of the list, Hiram & Solomon. So Hiram & Solomon has continued their European expansion. They've been doing this for a while. They broke into Germany. They just recently connected up with Brightleaf Distribution Limited, and they're expanding into the UK market. So international cigar smokers, especially in the UK, you're going to be getting Hiram & Solomon running through the UK. Tarazona Cigars has announced that they've expanded their team. I'll just open this up for a minute. They've expanded their team. They brought in Benny Rosario. For those of you, most of us know who Benny is. Benny was most recently the vice president of Don Kiki's Cigar Superstore, worked with Karen Berger, and he helped Karen Berger grow the new Karen Berger line over the years, the K by Karen and so forth. Benny now is the VP of International Sales and Development for Tarazona Cigars, and he's also brought in Justin Sandlin. So Justin Sandlin, he's a third generation tobacco and cigar salesman. It's in his blood. He's Fort Worth, Texas native. Many people in Texas know who he is. I'm sure the folks in the underground know who Justin Sandlin is. So Justin Sandlin is going to be helping to build out the Terrazona brand in Louisiana, Kansas, Oklahoma, and his home state of Texas. So you can check out the article there. Got some good quotes. I reached out to them about what they're doing, and I really like where Terrazona is going with this. We also, the Underground Cigar Shop. Okay, so for those that heard about Underground just here for the first time, and those that know about the Underground, they're having a No Fucks Given 2021. This year, it's going to be a virtual event. The shop itself will be open during the event, but they have a very limited capacity based on the COVID pandemic. But what they are doing is they're going to do a virtual event. And that virtual event, the non-attendee event, which everybody would sign up for, is $85. That's going to get you between 12 and 15 fabulous boutique cigars. You can buy some other things here. You can also buy UG Bucks, which I think gives you 10% off the price. So you buy these ahead of time. You can use them during the event. So that virtual event will allow you to go through and interact, I think, with the different brand owners. And there'll be specials and everything that they'll have. You can also buy raffle tickets. This event is happening in March. These are the participation of that. So obviously you are part of that, the Black Star Line Cigars, but you can see the list here. Some of the most popular boutique lines are there. That event is happening on March. The tickets go on sale on January 23rd. So get on. There's only like 250 tickets, I think, available. So get on at 11 o'clock in the morning and go get your tickets to that. And the event's happening on March 13th, which is a Saturday from 1 o'clock p.m. to 12 a.m. And the reason why we like 12 a.m. is at the end of every NFG event, there is a roast. And if you like good roasts, they do the best. And I believe that people like Mike Bellady from MLB Cigar Ventures tends to host that roast, and he's really good at it. So it's a good event to be part of, and check it out. JC Newman has now announced the Havana Q. So the Havana Q is a cigar that takes you back to Cuba. They are trying to mimic as much as they can with the Cuban blends of the past. It goes back to the original value cigar, the Quorum, which was the #1 selling bundled cigar out of Nicaragua. This is a new line called Havana Q. You got to check it out. It's an Ecuadorian Havana seed with Nicaraguan binders and fillers. They come in these nice sealed packs for the shops. So check out Havana Q if you're in a shop coming soon. And then Gurkha just recently held their first virtual HERF of 2021. As you know, Gurkha went through a major change last year. Jim Colucci came in, took over as the head of the company, and they've been trying to rebrand themselves and get things going in the right direction. So they just had their first virtual HERF. And Protocol Cigars has announced their Protocol Coppers, which is a line of cigar line that they produce for the Vintage Cigar Lounge and Club in Westerly, Rhode Island. For those that don't understand the word coppers, they explain coppers is where years ago they had copper badges and stuff, and that's why they got called coppers. And Lake Country Cigars out in Wisconsin, they've announced their Revival Habana and Revival Maduros. They're doing that in collaboration with Brothers Cigars, and they're working with Tabacalera, William Ventura, and Dominican Republic to produce these cigars. You can pick these up if you go on the Lake Country Cigars website. You can find them there. And then Don Rafa Cigars announced their limited edition box press cigars. So Don Rafa, located in Illinois, They've got their factory down in Nicaragua, and this is a 6x52 box press format. It comes in two different blends, an Ecuadorian Habano and a San Andreas. And then that's it. That picks up for the week. So that was the news of the week. We'll have more news next week for sure, but it was a pretty busy news week. As far as cigar reviews go, I really only did one this week. This is the time of the year where I don't review as many cigars. I set that slate up as we get closer to the end of January. I'm starting to get some new things coming in, and I kind of enjoy the things that I reviewed that I still have one or two left, and I just want to sit back and enjoy a cigar. It's my moments where I just enjoy cigars instead of having to think about them. But I did review the new CAO 2020 Vision. And I have to tell you, this cigar is this is a $19 cigar, all right? And a lot of people are like, a $19 cigar. And oh, by the way, it comes in this interesting box that's got all these LED lights. And, is this really just a gimmick? And no, this cigar actually was very nice. I bought this cigar over at my local shop, Executive Cigar Shop and Lounge here in Melbourne. And I'm going to tell you, I like the look of it. It had a little bit of this, a little kind of off-burn thing, but it fixed itself. It had a really nice burn, a nice ash cone. Really started burning beautifully after that. Didn't have a problem with this whatsoever when it came through the burns other than that. And what I liked with this cigar is it really started off with this toasted brown sugar sweetness. And you get your head wrapped around that for a second. If you think about toasted brown sugar, or, that's just, that was unique. I haven't had that in a cigar at the level. Then it runs into some savory spice. It got some dark chocolate and floral notes, some white pepper and dry leather. Some sweet cream, coffee, and spice. It's a good hour and 50 minutes. It had a wavy burn at the beginning, which fixed itself. It had a medium volume of smoke in the first third, but it opened up in the second third really nicely. And it ended up with a medium gray ash. And the ash was beautiful, kept a nice long ash, and it was an extremely complex cigar. Yes, I'm going to buy a couple more of these if they still have them, and that's what I say. So this cigar, I definitely say is a 93. I think CEO did a great job with this cigar. So even though it's $19, I think it's definitely a cigar people might want to enjoy, especially if you have an experienced palate to pick up some really good notes in that. So those are the reviews and news and Stogie Pres for this week. Yeah, so I think we ran the gamut, my friend.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm going to give you the closing word, man. What goodness do you want to give to us all?
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody that supported us, anybody that's on, anybody that's commenting, because without the support of everybody, my company would not be here. So I thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for believing in me. Believe I got some good sticks to even put some fire to. Because like I said, I wouldn't be around if it wasn't for you all. I want to thank you for reviewing my cigars. You were an early on reviewer of all three of my cigars, so that helped me out tremendously as well. Because you're well known in the industry as a reviewer, and people respect your knowledge and your opinion. So that helped me out a lot as well. And also, not only do I sell cigars, but I also have apparel. Like I have a Black Star Line hoodies and shirts, and I got branded Glencairn glasses and branded Rock glasses and flasks, a leather wrap flask. So all that's available on the website. And once again, that's www.bsl.net, bslcigars.net. And if you can't find it, just Google Black Star Line Cigars and you'll find it. So.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, Aric, for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's always a fun hour on taking it to the nub. I hope people learned a few things. Every time we do this, I like to throw a little nugget out there, and maybe the guests can talk about something that they've learned, and other people can pick up on that. So hopefully, we've accomplished that goal. Definitely accomplished the goal of talking about Black Star Line cigars. If you haven't tried them, check them out. You can check out the reviews of Black Star Line on StogiePres.com. And thank you, everybody, for joining. And don't forget, you can always watch these on YouTube if you missed it here, which you're not because you're watching it. But there'll always be archived later on YouTube. And I'm going to catch you next week. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Aric. It's a pleasure.